All right. Well, happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to our Tech Talks that have resumed. It has been quite a while since we've had a Tech Talk. So thank you for being on for our first HSC related Tech Talk of 2022. So today's Tech Talk is Jam with Jamboard. So we're going to be talking just about Jamboard, what it is, some changes that have been made to Jamboard, and how you can use it. So first off, what is Jamboard? I think that you can actually use your raise hand feature if you know where to find that on your toolbar. Raise your hand if you have used Jamboard before. Okay, Ron has used Jamboard before. And so has Lisa. Excellent. So Jamboard, as you probably know, has a lot of different features. And you could go ahead and feel free to lower the hand. If you just click on the raise hand button again, it should lower. So Jamboard is an interactive whiteboard system that was developed by Google as part of Google Workspace. Google Workspace has so many different wonderful apps that we are going to be talking about in future Tech Talks, but Jamboard is just one of those. And of course, it means that it is part of Google integration and it is free, which is always nice. Now, with COVID happening, a lot of classes had to go digital, so you didn't have the advantage of a physical whiteboard. So this gave teachers or gives instructors an opportunity to use a virtual whiteboard. So let's just talk about some of the features of Jamboard. So with Jamboard, and don't worry, we're actually going to look at a Jamboard and we're going to be playing around with one. But with Jamboard, you can change the background. You can have a blank background, just like a regular whiteboard. You can also give it a paper look with dotted lines or solid lines or a graph grid, and I'll show you how to change that background. If you're working with the coordinate plane, that's, the graph grid is very convenient to use and very visual to use. So that's really great. You can also change the color of your background. So it doesn't have to just be white. You can have different colors, solid colors for your background. There's a lot of ways that you can add content to your board. You can handwrite text. We'll talk about different ways of doing that. You can add sticky notes. You can add images. You can also use a laser pointer during presentations. You can also add text boxes. I didn't put that in here, but you can also add text as a text box that's typed. You can also save frames as either PDFs or images. And when I say frame, I mean just that one particular page on the Jamboard. So your Jamboard can have multiple pages, which gives it an advantage over a physical whiteboard because you don't have to erase everything you just created before going to a blank page or a blank slate. You can just go and create a new frame, and then you have several frames in the same Jamboard. So if you're using Jamboard as a collaborative brainstorming tool, it's really great because you can save all those frames and all those different pieces of brainstorming and idea sharing that you have. You can share the screen for synchronous lessons with students. So you can be interactive in that your students can also add to the Jamboard. You can share it with students to collaborate with each other asynchronously as well. So it is really, really, really a great visual idea sharing tool. So there's a lot of different ways to use Jamboard. I've already talked about a few of them. You can use Jamboard to show math work during synchronous lessons. So if you are in Google Meet, for example, you can pull up a Jamboard, can write as if you were writing on a physical whiteboard to share, to show that math work during the lesson. You can explain things like charts and maps and diagrams and other visuals because you can just paste that visual right onto your Jamboard. You can also allow students to share ideas with each other, again, both synchronously and asynchronously when they're not working together at the same time. You can have them share observations or predictions about a lesson. You can have a prompt, for example, at the top of your frame, like a sentence prompt, and then you can have them add to it. They can add text, they can add images. You can do that as a sticky note or a text box. You can also have them write it in. Now, there are a couple of things to note about Jamboard that, can pose a little bit of an inconvenience. For example, I said that you can write on the Jamboard. Well, doing that with a mouse can be very cumbersome, very hard to read. So you can purchase a drawing tablet with a smart pen. And I'm going to just exit out of here. I already brought it up, but I'll bring it up again. I'm going to show you the drawing tablet that I'm mentioning. So it's just a blank surface, really. And the smart pen will help you to draw. Now, my daughter is an artist, and so she uses things like that, although she got a really large one. You could get some that are about the size of a large index card, really. You can get a much smaller drawing tablet. But, depending on how much you're willing to spend, $30 will get you one that's basic, but you can get some that are even more sensitive to touch, more detailed, have more features. I believe I actually have this one. It's not my favorite. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but once you get used to it, it still works just fine. The other thing about working with Jamboard as a collaborative piece is that everyone with editing access can make all changes and undo all work. So you want to make sure that your students know how to use Jamboard and don't erase what other students have done or what you have done by accident. Of course, you can undo those changes if you happen to be doing so synchronously, and you can show them how to undo changes if they make a mistake. But you definitely want to make sure that your students have a basic knowledge of how to use Jamboard. You also can't import videos into Jamboard without a Google extension. You can, of course, use that, but it's just again, a little extra step. So it's not, perfect in its integrations, but it still is very nice.
What's a Google extension on a video? Never heard of that.
So I have to look up the name of that extension, and I will do that while you guys are working on the Jamboard. But and I'll show you how to add that extension, in fact. But yeah, just give me a second to look that up, and I will do that for that extension.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So before I take you guys to the Jamboard that I've created, because I actually did create a Jamboard with some prompts, one thing that I do want to mention is that I'm going to actually change my presentation real quick. I'm going to go to sharing my entire screen so you can see. Let's see here. I might cascade a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to cascade here a little bit. But what I want to show you is that you can actually create a Jamboard within a Google Meet. I know that looks so awful, so I'm so sorry. Hopefully you can see the largest one. One of your settings is to open a jam, to open a whiteboard. So when you click on that, it will bring up the whiteboarding feature, and you can start a new whiteboard, and it will send a link to everyone in the call. So I start a new whiteboard.
Jamie, I didn't get how you started the whole thing.
Okay, let me do that one more time, okay? So let me just X out of here. I am sorry this is cascading. There's not really a way to get around that. But if I click on these three dots here at the bottom, the more options, I click on those three dots, it'll bring up my options, and then whiteboard is the very top one. So I click there, and then it brings up the pop-up over on the right, and then I can start a new whiteboard. Or I can choose one from Drive, okay? So then I can share it with anybody. Okay, so right now I have 2 people on who are using their nmdelt.org emails. So that would just automatically share it with them. But since I have people who are on that are not nmdelt folks, I can choose the link sharing, and then I can change the settings on that. But I wouldn't really, recommend doing this. You can even change it to edit mode unless you have everybody with the same email, because you can see there's already some issues with that. It's only people with NMDELT emails. So I'm going to cancel this, And I'm going to stop my share and I'm going to go back to my other window. That way that cascading stops. So I'm going to share my window again. And I have a Jamboard already created. Now to create a Jamboard, just to give you guys a little practice with that, you can go to your Google Drive. So if you open up a Google tab, there's the Google Apps menu right there on the top right. You go to Google Drive. You can always hit New up here on the left, the top left, click New. And if you click on More, you can go to Google Jamboard. So you can always start a new Jamboard right from Google Drive. Okay, but I've already created one. So what I'm going to do is I am going to share this Jamboard with you all. You can choose to share with specific people and groups, or you can click Get Link. I have it set to anyone on the internet with this link can edit. So I'm going to copy that link and I'm going to put it in the chat. So go ahead and make sure that you're able to click on the link that just popped up in your chat box. And I'll wait.
I'm really sorry. I have a thing. I don't know if that's the chat. I'm not very familiar with this format. Is the chat? Oh, maybe this is the chat. Okay, I found it. I found it.
Okay. Okay, great.
Thank you.
No problem. So click on that. So I can see that Ron is already in, Nancy's already in, and I am going to get in on my tablet as well. And there's a reason for that. I want to be able to show you all how to use a tablet or to use Jamboard from a tablet. All right. Lisa, were you able to get on? You're muted. I'm not sure if you answered me. Oh, now I see it. I think you're in now. Perfect. So you can see here that I have 4 frames right now in this. So I'll show you all the different frames. But before we get started with the actual Jamboard, I wanted to show you how to set your background. So up here on the left, you can set it to dots, like I mentioned. You can set it to lines, which is really good if you're trying to demonstrate maybe essay writing. And then you can set it to a grid, which is, like I said, great coordinate plane.
Oh, you're clicking on set background. Okay.
Yes.
I couldn't see what you were doing. It's really small. Can you make that screen bigger on the share screen, please?
Let me see if I can.
I have no idea what you were doing.
100%. Let's see if I could go to 200%. Oh, that doesn't make what I'm doing bigger, just the actual Jamboard bigger. So I'm sorry I can't make that part bigger, because if I try to zoom this way, it gets smaller and smaller. Well, maybe not. Now you can see it says set background.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. So that is what I'm clicking here. You can also change your background color. So you can change it to a gray graph. You could change your background to a dark blue. You could change your background black. I'm going to go back to white. This is where I want it to be. And so I have given you a prompt. So imagine that you are students in my class, and I want you to post your thoughts about this picture as a sticky note. So over here on the left, you have this toolbar, and this will allow you to write onto the surface with your mouse or with your finger if you're on a mobile device, your phone, your tablet, or a drawing tablet if you have that. I'll get to that feature in a little bit. Here's your eraser. So your eraser is second to the top. Okay. So I'm sorry you guys can't see my cursor. For some reason, I wish that was showing, but it's not. And then third down on the left is your select button. So that just changes to what you select. And then here is your sticky note. So the sticky note is fourth from the bottom. You click on that. You could change the color of your sticky note, type in, my feedback here, and then you hit save and it shows up as a sticky note. Then you hit cancel. You can move your sticky note around. You can move other people's sticky notes around. You can make them bigger or smaller. Now I'm going to delete my sticky note. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys an option to add your own sticky notes. So take a couple of minutes and tell me what you think about this image as a sticky note and post it on there. And do me a favor and put your name on that sticky note. Now, as an instructor, you can choose whether to have the students remain anonymous or put their names on.
What
So
do you? I don't understand. Post your thoughts about the picture as a sticky note. You mean on a sticky note? Or you want us to? You're asking us if we think this picture should be a sticky note?
Aha, that's a great question. Use the sticky note feature to tell me what you think about the image.
Thank you. Yeah, you should. Okay, thank you.
That's a lesson for me in clarity language. And you know, Ron, I don't know where this is. Your guess is as good as mine with that.
One thing I didn't know about the sticky note, when I opened it up, I couldn't move it. It opened up right on top of the image.
And when you click on it, then you can move it.
No, it didn't. Well, I'll try it again. Nope, it's not moving it. Will not move. No, not till I create it. I haven't created it yet.
Yeah, you have to create it first.
That's what I'm saying. I really wanted to look at the. Okay, thank you.
You're right. That is a little bit of an annoyance there. All right. Oh, look, Ron added another one. Looks like Denver. It might be Denver. I honestly do not know. That looks like some trolley or rail lines right there. And Lisa, I agree with you. I am glad I'm in New Mexico. And I'm in Albuquerque. That's big enough for me. So this is just practice using that sticky note feature. Again, you could change the colors of the sticky note. You can move it around. You know, I click on it. I can move these around. I can make them bigger or smaller. And you can save them, delete them, duplicate them. If you were to click on it, click on those 3 dots. You can duplicate it. You could change the order. Now, what I mean by that is right now it's over the image, right? So if I were to change the order, I can send it backward, actually send it to the back, and it would be behind the image. Now, there's not really any reason to do that. If you click on these 3 dots in the top corner right there.
Oh, got it.
And then you go to order.
Thank you.
Now I can bring it to the front now, but
hadn't seen that before. That's great to know. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so that is frame 1. Now I want everybody to go to the top of your screen. There's an arrow to the right where it says 1 of 4. That'll take you to the next frame. So go to the next frame, 2 of 4. And now we're going to practice using the text box feature. Now the text box feature is over on your left toolbar. It's the second to the bottom. And if you mouse over it, it says text box. So when you click on it, and then you click on the Jamboard, your text box will pop up and you can type your text. So I'm going to delete mine. And you can use that to type in one word, just one word to describe this picture. Now this one, unlike the sticky note function, will not obstruct the photo, which is great. Ooh, that's a great word, cascading.
Can you? Oh.
And you can also change the order. You know, you can send this backward just like you do with the sticky notes. One thing that I cannot find that it does is allow you to change the color of your font or even the font.
So I
which is
put
a
mine
little
in there,
annoying.
but it disappeared. I don't know where it went.
Yours is cascading?
No, mine was awesome. And it was
Oh, is
there, but
it?
when cascading came up, it went away.
Oh, that's weird.
Oop.
Huh. Okay, so Nancy, click the text box over on the left again, and then click on maybe to the right of the image and create a new text box. There it is. Huh. Still not seeing your word, Nancy. It's really strange.
I keep muting because my dog is making all kinds of noise.
Ah,
I see my picture down there now.
I see your picture. If you were
Mhm.
to click on the text box again, just click on that text box and then create a new one, maybe over here on the right. Oh, there
There.
it is. Okay, now we
You
see it.
found it? Okay.
Okay, so that's just practice using the text box feature. Now, if we go to the next frame,
I
you
just
can
want to say something.
also. Oh, go
Um,
ahead, Ron.
I had a student that we were actually using Jamboard the other day, and we were doing some math problems. She didn't want to use because she only had a mouse, so she didn't want to use the pen option. So she was doing it with the text and doing it. So that was kind of neat. I actually had her present her screen and use Jamboard from her screen.
Oh, that's great. Yes, so this, I mean, you can obviously see that the text box is much neater than using the pen feature, especially if what you're using is a computer and you're having to write with a mouse. That
Yeah,
can
see,
be
I have a
very.
tablet like you do with the pen, but
Mhm,
the student didn't have that. So
exactly. Thank you for that, Ron, because that is a really nice workaround on Jamboard.
So did
Okay,
she
so if we
just type
go,
her problem in, Ron?
can you say that one more time,
sorry, I'm
Nancy?
sorry. What'd you say, Nancy?
I said, did she just type her problem
Yes.
in then?
Yes,
I
she typed
see.
the problem. It was a simple problem like x plus 2 equals 6. And so I was just having her just do some basic algebra because um she's just starting with the class, and so she wanted to learn
Yes,
how to do some of this stuff. But I was just teaching her how to use Jamboard basically.
I see.
That's so awesome. Okay, so on the third frame, what we're going to do is practice attaching images. So that is fifth down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down on your toolbar. If you click on add an image, it will bring up a pop-up. You can search by URL. You can, if you have a tablet or a phone, you can open up your camera. What I like to do is go to Google image search because it does open up your search bar, and then you can search for an image, something that brings you joy. Well, I can tell you that the river otter is something that brings me immense joy. So I'm going to find a cute image, something that I think is just adorable. There's several here. Let's say it's a river otter sleeping. There we go. This is a cute one. So I click on the image that I want and I hit insert. And you can see they're all popping up at the center. So you can move them around, make them smaller, change the order. But this is great. These are beautiful photos. This is a really good way. This is, as you can see, pretty simple. It's a really good way of sharing things in a visual way without having to look at words. If you are working with ESL students, this is another really great way to just visualize their learning. So images are wonderful. They're really great. I love all these images. They're making me smile very much. They're beautiful. And of course, you can open it up to discussion. You can say, okay, who posted this one? You know, the mountain picture. Tell me why that brings you joy, and then have them discuss it, have them verbalize it. So that opens it up to other things. Any thoughts or questions about the image feature?
Mm-mm.
Okay, good. Great. So the last frame I have is a blank frame. And the reason why I have this blank is because I wanted to use this blank space as practice with the pen feature. So when you click on the pen feature, which is the very top one, and I see that, Lisa, you're looking at the shape feature, which is very cool. So I'm clicking on the pen feature. If I click here, it's going to bring up my different pen options. So this is going to be my thinnest mark. And then I can have the marker, the highlighter, or the brush. So they will get progressively thicker. And you can choose the color. So maybe I want to choose teal, and I want to choose the teal highlighter. Then if I go over here, you can see on the Jamboard, you can see my little dot. I can start typing. And it does, in fact, look like a highlighter. Now I'm using my mouse, so you can see that's really...
That's pretty good, Jamie.
Yeah, you're really good. You're really good.
It's not that bad. But I'm going to go on my tablet because, like I said, I'm on here for my tablet. I'm going to choose the pen feature, and I'm going to go to my highlight so you can see the difference between using my mouse and using my pen. So let me go here. So much faster, so much easier for me. I can also use my finger. So now I'm going to use my finger here. Maybe not as nice, also fast. So when if you're able to use tablets of any kind, or if you have a drawing tablet with a pen, you can see that it is much faster. I'm using my finger here. Whoops, that's a horrible heart. But the second one on your menu is
You have
the
an eraser there
eraser.
too if you want to erase it.
Yeah. So I can erase my heart. So this, again, very, very visual, very nice in its features. So now I'm going to go back to the actual pen size. So this is with my drawing pen. You can see how it looks with my drawing pen. This is with my finger. A little bit not as nice. And this is with my pen, drawing the word finger. Very quick, But this is a really nice visual way to do math problems. Ron, like you said, you have a tablet with a pen, so it's probably a lot easier for you to be writing on here. And I can erase what I don't like right there.
How do you use this laser?
How do you use the what?
Laser, the last one. I don't see how to use it.
So if you click on the laser, okay, what it's doing is it's showing a pointer that disappears. Can you see that? So I'm going to circle what I'm talking about, but that's going to disappear. So here I'm talking about this, but then it's going to disappear. I can also do that from my tablet, circling. You can see that it's a lot more smooth, and then it disappears.
Oh, that's neat. I've never seen that before.
I can do an arrow. That also will disappear. So that's the laser pointer feature. Very fun. Are there any other questions? Of course, we didn't really talk too much about the shape one, but if you click on the shape feature, you can choose a variety of shapes: circle, square, triangle, diamond, a rounded rectangle, a half circle, a bar, or an arrow. So if I wanted to do an arrow, I could just draw my arrow and I can make it big or small. I can rotate it any direction. So
I'm trying the arrow. It's not working. What am I doing wrong?
So you clicked on the arrow. Did you click on the Jamboard and then kind of spread it out a little bit?
I'm trying nothing. Yeah, I click here. Let me click off of it. I'll go to sticky, cancel, and go back. Click the arrow.
So I click the arrow, and now do you see the plus sign? I know you can't see it on my shared screen, but does your cursor show up as a plus?
Nope. Do you have to keep it down? No.
No. See, when I click on arrow, it's highlighted in gray.
Nope, I got nothing. That's really weird. Everything else works, but that I've used every tool but the arrow, and it says select.
Uh-huh.
Oh, now I got it. Oh
You
no.
got it. Maybe.
Oh no. All right. Nope.
You might want to refresh your Jamboard screen.
That you should-
Okay.
When in doubt, refresh.
Okay. Good idea.
I'm going to erase my arrow. Let's see. Nope, doesn't erase. Only because it's not. Let's see. Cancel. I'm going to click on my arrow. Maybe.
Oh. Now when I selected it, it looks like, but no, it's not letting me
Mine's
go.
there.
So
Are
I
you
just deleted my arrow.
looking?
See, is that your arrow or is that Nancy's arrow?
That's my arrow.
That's your arrow. Okay.
And so when it says, I point to it, it says select. I click it. I've now put my mouse in the Jamboard, but it hasn't changed. And I try to draw, nothing.
Yeah, it's the same for me. I don't know why it's not working.
Oh, that is
Oh,
weird.
that's-
Okay, maybe because I've selected the arrow. Let me get out of it.
But I was able to select the arrow and move it.
Yeah, that's weird. Okay,
Yeah.
try one more time.
Select.
See, I can put, all I do is
Oh,
just
okay.
click on it. And
How'd you get it, Ron? How'd you get it to go?
I just where the circle was, I changed it to select, and it shows me all the different options, and then
Oh, down here.
yes, not the point, not the arrow over there, is the where the circle was.
Right, down where the
Circle is-
shapes are.
Yeah,
But
underneath
the-
underneath the picture.
The third one down.
Yeah, from the third one, yes.
The third from the bottom.
I understand. I got the arrow to work from there, but the third from the top. What's that?
No,
Oh,
the
the third from the
pointer.
top is the select tool. That's it. It doesn't do anything. It's just your select.
Oh no, it did. It selects. Okay,
It allows you to select the different
gotcha.
images or yeah.
Elements that are on
But
there.
that's not the arrow shape. Now I understand.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Thank you. That was really
Awesome.
important.
It is, right?
Yeah.
So I just want to let you know, I was in a webinar a couple weeks ago where they're doing manipulatives using the sticky notes. So they're
Uh-huh.
doing like 3 times 10, and they would demonstrate with the sticky notes. They would put like 3 rows of 10 or 10 rows of 3, and so they were just showing how to show the students how to do that.
That is
Pretty
really
cool.
cool.
Oh,
That is
that's
really
neat.
cool.
That's neat to hear that.
So can I show you guys something that one of my instructors just showed me about yesterday? And it's a way of adding and subtracting integers, or actually adding integers. So say, for example, I'm in frame 5, by the way. If you guys want to move over to frame 5, I just created a new frame. So I'm going to add a text box, and I'm going to say -3 plus 8. Okay, so I'm going to use that as my equation. Now, if you want to use the sticky notes as manipulatives, what you do is, okay, I'm going to use red as negatives. Okay, I'm just going to save, or I could even put a negative there. So I'm going to save that. Okay, so I'm going to make this a lot smaller because what they do is they put, whoops, sorry, I hit the rotate and I don't like that. So I'm going to fix that. So they put it's -3. So you're going to put 3 negatives underneath it. And that demonstrates a -3. Now I'm going to create a new sticky note that's green, and I'm going to say that that's a positive. And I'm going to make it as small as I can, there are 8 positives. And you could just hit the duplicate feature to keep getting more. So I'm going to have 8. I should have picked a smaller number. And this is a little time consuming, but it's a really good visual tool.
Yeah.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Got to do 2 more. And what you learn is that pairings cancel each other out. So then you can just delete all of the pairings, and your answer is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, positive 5.
That's cool. That's a great way to show that.
Yeah. And that is just another way to just visually show that on Jamboard. So Ron, thank you so much for bringing up the sticky notes as a manipulative tool. I think that that's really great because these are very similar to the base 10 blocks.
Yeah, I like that too.
Mm-hmm. So are there any other questions about Jamboard overall?
I have a big question.
Yes.
Okay, I have a hybrid class. So I have the majority of my students in the classroom, and then I'll have 2 or 3 on Google Meets.
Mm-hmm.
So can my students in the classroom do this on their phones? Or would we have to all be in Google Meets, or how would we work on this together?
So you don't have to be in Google Meet to share a Jamboard. If somebody were to click on the link that's in the chat right now, no matter where they are, then they could get on the Jam. For example, I was on from my tablet, even though my personal email account was not on the Google Meet. So I'm going to double check, but I believe that Jamboard has a mobile app. And I think yes, it does. So you can have the students download the Jamboard mobile app on their phones, and they can open up the Jam right from their phones.
All right, because they love, like when we play Kahoot, they love it. You know?
Oh, Kahoot is wonderful.
There's got to be more than Kahoot that I can do.
Yes. So what you can do is you can share the Jamboard directly with your students. You can add their email addresses to the share with people in groups, and then it'll send them an email invite that they can click on and get into their Jamboard.
Okay, but they have to have it downloaded first, right?
Right. Or it can open up as a Chrome tab, but it's better with the app.
Okay.
App integrations are always better than Chrome tabs, so they can do either. But I would recommend that if they have the storage space on their phone, to download the Jamboard app.
Yeah, I just downloaded it from the Play Store, and I'm in it right now.
Yeah.
You're in. What are you in, Ron?
I just on my phone, I just went to the Google Play Store and just typed in Jamboard and just downloaded it right now.
Yeah.
Do you have a Google account?
Yeah, well, I have the NM Delt account, which is Google, the one we use for NM Delt.
Because if you're in your Google account, I just discovered this a couple days ago. You know where the 9 dots are up by your picture?
Yeah.
Top. You just open that up and scroll down. It's right in there.
Yeah, but I wanted to download it to my phone. So.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm actually in the same. I'm in the same Jamboard that Jamie's on right now on my phone. So just open it up right there.
Okay.
And I did notice that there was another person in. So that must be you, Ron.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's cool.
Yes. So this is Jamboard. It's so fun. It's so, it's fun to play around with and try out. And even though it might be just a little slow at first, once your students get used to it, they really do enjoy it. They have a lot of fun with it.
It's really neat.
Oh, is that from your phone, Ron?
Yeah, it's from my phone. I just want to see if I can do it.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Did you do that with your finger? With
my finger. I did with my finger.
That's awesome.
So I'm on my phone and I'm on my computer at the same time.
Yep. I was on my computer and my tablet at the same time. So if you, as an instructor, want to have multiple devices to show folks how to do things from multiple devices, you can do the same.
That's cool.
That's really neat.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do really quickly, just my last slide here, is just put up my email, jamie@nmdelt.org. If you encounter anything with Jamboard as you're trying to use it and you have a question, please feel free to email me or send me a chat in Hangouts. That's probably even a faster way of getting a hold of me, is just going through Google Chat and sending me a chat question. I am happy to help with that.